Finally. Hi guys, my name is Desiree. If you're new being here, so will be my third episode of my podcast, Faith Over Pressure, and I'm excited to test out some lighting issues. I've been working on different settings for myself, so I apparently naturalized the best light. So I by my night owl. That's why the first two sets a little janky, but I'm gonna try to keep at this anyway. So today's topic will be about God making us wait. And so I'm going to talk about my experiences in that because, we always say, God, why not me? How come everyone gets to experience all the things that I want, but I'm still stuck here waiting on what I prayed about and asked you multiple times all these years and still nothing. So let's start off with each category of our life. So the first one I want to start out is career. I'm currently a phlebotomist at a blood center, and if you know me in real life, you know I did not go to school for that at all. I did like a 3 training, but that's because stuff fell through. But basically, I went to college for 3.5 years for marketing and, a little advertising, a little minor. But I had to stop my last semester of school because of financial reasons that till this day I still cannot fully explain, So anyway, when I got sent back home from college in I think 2021 or 2020, it was the year following the pandemic, that January following the pandemic, that I had to leave school before my last semester, which sucks, but that's just how life goes. So I was at home with my parents, and I was working a dead-end job at this senior home as a food server, and I hated it. It wasn't paying nothing, and luckily I didn't have really no bills except for my phone bill and all that. So like, I need something that I can get into quickly and something that can make me decent money. Because at that time in my mindset, I was thinking that I should go to the military. I was like, how old was I? Was I 22 or 21? I was 22 or 21 was when I got leave college. So I'm like, I'm still young enough. I'm still a little more fit than I am right now. So while I'm working to getting more in shape, I can just work something to make more money and also do other things as well. So I'm looking at all these different things I can do, like these little trades I can do that require little to no schooling or program. So this one thing popped out to me, phlebotomy. It's very easy to get into, and I saw like in my local area, they was offering a training program in this only for 3 weeks. And I'm like, it's perfect. The thing is, this is still during the pandemic era. So, can I say that? Maybe I know it's pandemic era. Anyway, so this is during the pandemic era. So everything was so shut down and slowly coming back up. So it was like maybe like a month after I found the where I don't want to say where I went, but basically it was a job center in my town that offered this training for me. And so I called them and I said, hey, I know that you're closed because of the pandemic, but I was wondering, when will you open back up for classes? She said, well, actually, we are opening up our first class for the phlebotomy course in, I don't know, what's it like a month, and then a month away from when I called. And she was telling me how much it cost and how I can I can get financial aid help if I need it. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. And then, I was like, thank God, like, because I hated where I was at. That's gonna be a common theme in the stories, keep that in mind, but I hated where I was at. And I saw no future with there, obviously, like as a food server. If you like that, good for you. But for me, I just knew it was not going to work out for me being there long term anyway. So, and I was remember praying to God before I got that confirmation saying, God, how come all my friends got to finish school and have a bachelor's degree? How come they're living their life according to how they want to in terms of going to get their dream job? Two or three of them at this time were dating, and I think one was engaged, I think. So that's an aspect we're going to talk about later on. But I'm like, why not me? Why do I have to wait? So fast forward, the lady tells me how much it costs. She said it costs, if I remember correctly, like $1,600, which is not expensive to be fair considering how much regular college is, but it's still a lot of money. However, I still did not have that lying around. So she said I could find a way to do a financial aid option. So I tried to do that. And long story short, it did not work out for me. But in God's divine timing, when we got that stimulus check, I used it to my advantage. Praise the Lord. That check hit right when I needed to go. Like it's just so divine timing. Like he knew that I was not able to afford it, and he knew that the option I was trying to go for wasn't going to cut it. Therefore, he put it in my heart to look for this career field, and he led me to where the place offering training was at close to me, like 20 minutes away, not even that probably. And he opened up, in my eyes, he opened up the training right when the stimulus check was starting to hit. Therefore, I was able to afford it. And so, trust me, as soon as I got confirmation that I could put my 2 weeks in, I did. Like, guys, you should have saw me. I was so, I don't know. I guess it's kind of not me, but it's kind of, I don't know. Like, literally, I had to write a little note saying I'm quitting and it's good for manager. That's it. And so I wrote a note on a piece of paper saying I'm quitting on this day, and I had to give it to her. So I wrote that. I told her, hey, can I see you for a moment? Went to her little office, and I'm like, Wapa, like Trisha Lopez. I'm like, sorry I have to do this to you. And she said, good luck to you. I'm like, thank you. Yes, it was for me. It was the fact that I said like, Wapa, like Trisha Lopez. So that was funny. But anyway, so my mind at that time was, okay, I'm going to do phlebotomy, get a job in that, and while I'm working, I can work on my body to get right for the military, right? So I did my program, 3 weeks, flew by. And so I luckily got a job at a hospital that was literally 10 minutes away from me, a small hospital 10 minutes away from me, like 2 weeks after I finished the program. And yeah, so I at the time I thought it's a blessing, like, even though I may not like the field that I'm in now. It was a blessing. So I was, my thought process was, cool, great, I can get some money stacked up and I can work on my body. I was going on walks every day. I didn't go back doing that, by the way. I didn't hit my 10K steps. That's another day though. I could hit my walking, that run was killing me. I can work on push-ups and sit-ups because at the time I was trying to do the Navy or the Air Force because I did JROTC in high school, the Navy side, and I loved it. Even though I didn't want to do military initially when I got out of high school, which would have been a better option for me, I was like, you know what? It's just 4 years and maybe somehow I can use them to pay for the rest of my school. And that was my mindset. So fast forward, I'm working this job, I'm new. All job has its challenges. We're just going to leave it at that for a moment. And then I got in contact with a recruiter for I want to say Air Force first. And I was talking to her, saying how I want to join and all that. And she's like, cool, all this, that, and the third. And then a day or two later, she called me and said, hey, do you take medication for X, Y, and Z? Because, okay, just to be open, have been diagnosed with anxiety and depression. I do take medication for that. And she's like, and I'm like, yeah, I take medication for that. Well, she said, well, unfortunately, due to our standards, at least at that time, I don't know if it changed. She was like 2021, I think. But she was like, unfortunately, due to our standards, if you're taking medication for anything, we cannot let you in service. You will have to be off the medication per your doctor for at least, I want to say 2 years, I think. And I'm like, I was so crushed and devastated. And I'm like, what? Oh, because I'm on medication for something a lot of people go through each day. I can't do this. And yeah, so I got a call at work and I was kind of like low-key crying the whole rest of my shift. And was like, oh crap, I'm stuck here because I knew from jump I did not want to make phlebotomy my full-time career for more than a limited time. But I'm like, dang, it's gonna have to be that way. And that's how it turned out to be. So I'm like, dang, I have to wait more to go back to school. Dang. So I think I reached out to a Navy recruiter and asked for the same thing. And so from what I was told, I reached out to Army, basically the same for all services, I guess, at least at that time. And I'm like, dang, so I can't go to military to finish my schooling? That sucks. I was more devastated than that. And granted, I didn't really want to be in the military like that. For real, I was using more as a tool to get what I want. And I'm like, I can do that for 4 years. That was my process. But God said, no, Desiree, we're not doing that for you. It's just not your calling, Desiree. And, looking back at it, I probably would have not been happy in the military. Well, let me not say that. I probably would have found happiness in the military. However, as someone who does not being told what to do, what I realized soon after that, I do not like being told what to do. My mindset is, I let you tell me what to do. But if I'm not letting you and you're telling me to do anyway, that's when the attitude hits. And I need to work on that. But anyway, I'm like, so I thought God protected me because maybe he thought, maybe God knew that I'm going to thrive in that environment. He knew I need to be close to my mom and my dad because a couple years after that, my mom got diagnosed again with cancer and she passed away. So thankfully, I did not get sent away nowhere. And I at the time, I did not like living with my parents because I felt like I was a loser. I now realize that was a blessing, God. Like I got to spend time with my mother because the time I'm shorter than what I realized. So I say all that to say for the career part that God said, you know what, Desiree, you have to wait. This is not for you. And I got so much more better in return because this gets rocking back and forth. I got so much better in return because I got to spend more time with my mother than I realized I didn't have that much time left in the long run. So that's how I choose to see that situation as like, God was telling me, no, this is not for you. However, I'm going to give you something better that you may not realize is better at that time. So that's the story I want to tell you. So then I'm gonna give you one about finances, both back then and currently now. Back then, when the military told me that I cannot join and I felt like I'm not going nowhere, and I still put away sometimes, but more on that later. But I felt like I wasn't going nowhere with my life. I don't have a degree. Like, I feel like I don't have a skill set besides phlebotomy, and I don't like this field I'm in, even though I chose to be in it because it was better than what I was doing before. I decided to try to start a business. And granted, I tried to start one in college. Didn't really work. So I tried to start another one. And while I was living with my parents, making more money so I can use that money to pay my bills. Plus, because I still didn't have a car yet. And just like, all I had to do is pay cell phone bill and help out with bills. That's it. So I'll use that money to do other things to generate money. I tried the hair business for, I think, started in college for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And then I tried to start a candle business for a year. And then I took a break. Because I stopped the candle business last year, 2024, on my birthday. Told myself, you know what, so I'm making money, and at this point, I'm wasting way more than what I'm profiting. And maybe it's just not for me. And plus, I was getting sick and tired of making my own candles. So, with that being said, in my mind, I'm like, man, God, why do I have to wait to live a better life? I'm living with my parents. I cannot get an apartment because I cannot afford an apartment, no matter how much I saved in my eyes. And I don't have, and plus I need to get a car first. I don't even have money to get a car first. And at this time, I don't even have my license. I didn't get my license till I was 22, I think. And so I'm like, dang God, I don't even have my license yet. Why do I have to wait? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I tried all those things to make money. Didn't work out. And I now realize God again was protecting me. I felt him speaking to me saying, this is not your path. You are not meant to be a hair boss. You are not meant to be a candle girly. At least I'm not making them selling them. Even though I do feel like he used those lessons to help my current business now, with this podcast, with podcasting as a business, and I'm not successful yet, I do feel like he used those businesses to teach me little things one by one that I'm now realizing I needed to do this. And if you know, you know. If you have multiple businesses, then you know how you can use one skill set from one set to another. And little did I know, I was building a skill set for a career that I would like to have, hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. But anyway, so I feel like God was using me to teach me lessons. In my soul, he was like, even though this may not be what I want you to do, you will learn skill sets to help you be better in the future. That's what I try to see it as. So all those times when I was saying, God, why not me? He was saying, Desiree, not yet. You need to learn this first. So, I may not have been as successful in the previous business ventures. I know God was working through me. And that's another thing we don't understand. When God is working with us, it's going to take time. Okay? It's not always no. It's just not yet. So that's how I see it, because there's scripture that I would like to use to make that point. Where is it? I have it on my phone. So there's actually two I want to say. So in Isaiah 40:31, but those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. I get that, because I realized over time, and it takes maturity, both just emotionally and spiritual maturity, that good things come with waiting. And then another scripture I want to say is I can never say this right. Ecclesiastes 3:1, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. You know how people say there's a season for everything? There really is. Now, I hope you guys made sense of the career or the finance point in the past. Let's talk about the finance in the well, no, it's past now, but the more recent one. So if you guys do not know already, I used to work 3 jobs just a couple months ago, and I worked every day for 2 months, at least working 1 job. Sometimes, majority of the time, 2 jobs in 1 day. Sometimes there was times I only worked 3 jobs in a 25 period. Not the greatest idea if you don't know, but not the greatest idea. But anyway, so I was like, I really need money. I want to do things. I wanted this. I want to have a savings account. I don't want to be rent poor. And I'm tired of feeling this. I'm tired of feeling I cannot catch a break. I cannot enjoy my life without, like, I felt like, and I still feel this way, I cannot enjoy going to the movies without sacrificing an essential part of what I need. Like, I feel like sometimes I can't even spend $30 to go to the movies, and that feels ticket and eating. That's why it's just so much. And then worry about, dang, will that $30 affect me? Need something in the future. Like, it's sad that I felt like I couldn't get a savings just to have fun a little bit. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna work way more. And I still do have two jobs, but at the time, like, I need a third job because I refused to just come home and sleep and run away. And still wasn't having fun with my money. However, I was still wanting to have a savings. However, due to my not waiting on his timing and things into my own hand, I exhausted myself. Okay. Like there was 2 times at my main job where I was having like a reaction. Like I was exhausted. Like I remember this one specific time I felt dizzy, blurred vision, and I told my team leader, I have to sit down. And it was a busy day. But I was like, I have to sit down. And I felt so dry in mouth. And then someone came up to me and said my lips were purple and blue and how I looked pale. And I told them, wow, black people can get pale. I did not know that. I really did not know that. Like, what? I can get pale? Really? Are you sure? And so they took my blood pressure too while I was there. And they said I had a high blood pressure. And I feel like that's supposed to do with stress. Maybe I don't normally run high, but they was telling me I had like triple for triple basically. And I was like, oh crap, what's wrong with me? All because I stressed myself out. And then I have a lady that I go to church with that I also work with. And she told me, Desiree, you need to stop. You're exhausting yourself and look what's doing it to you. You know what? And I'm like, I can't afford to not work this hard. I have no kids, I have no man. Like, what? Like, I need, and I want the money. I need the money. Like, I need to work this hard. So then another situation like that happened again at another job site. Well, the same job, we go to different places every day. So it happened again with different people. And to the point where I had to get sent home. And I cried about it. Because I'm like, oh my God, I've been sitting out on money. Like, that's how bad I was making money in idle back then. I'm not saying I don't struggle with that still, but I'm getting better. I'm not perfect, but I'm getting better by making that money in idle. But anyway, so then after that, the day after that, or like a couple days after that, another coworker came up to me. He pulled me to the side, an older man. He said, hey, are you good? And he was telling me, back when he was my age, how he worked so hard that it messed him so badly. He couldn't work for years and he almost could never come back to work. So he was talking to me like, giving me wisdom. He was like, it's up to you, Desiree. However, I see where it's going for you, and I just hope and pray that you don't go down that path. And so I took that as a sign as, God, you sent two, well, it's actually more than two, but you specifically sent at least 2 people my way telling me word to word basically that I need to stop. So it got in my mind thinking, okay, you know what? I do need to stop. All because I'm not waiting on his timing. And then I worked for another month at this third job. It was Red Lobster, we don't know. It was Red Lobster. I did it for like 3 hours out the week as a server. I worked another month there. So it was, I want to say January or late December, I decided to quit. And for stuff like that, when I decided to quit, like, 2 weeks from me, this is not a job I'm coming back to. I'm so sorry. Because tell me why as a server, I got more tables and people ran me racket for bread, right? Or biscuits. This is Red Lobster. and I made the least amount of money. Ah, you hold on, hold on. God knew that I stopped making money so much from idle. He was like, you know what? Let me show you what taking things in your own hands does to me. So not only am I exhausted, I'm begging to go home early at this point, but I work so much harder than I usually do, and I got paid tip way less than what I'm usually have been. And keep in mind, this is like the first bad day tipping that I received, but it's just slowly going down. And like I'm like, you know what? That's insane how it worked this hard. And while I still am grateful for what I'm getting, that I'm like, it's not worth all this. It's like I think the day I quit, I only made $40 for a 4-hour shift. Yeah. Granted, 4 hours working just minimum wage. What is minimum wage like $8? I don't know. Like what's minimum wage? Like was I want to say eight, like 8 times 4. If I got paid just $8 an hour working somewhere else for 4 hours, that's almost what we equate to that. And I don't have to do people's attitudes. So something like that just clicked to me like you you're not gonna waste my time no more, Relos. I'm so sorry. And then the fact that before I left, I had a sweep, which is fine, but this girl kept telling me how I kept missing crumbs, and I'm like, where are the crumbs at? Where are the crumbs? Like she made me sweep over the same area 3 or 4 times. Where are the crumbs? I'm in pain. My feet hurt. I'm tired. It's 10 p.m. at night. I gotta get back up at 5 a.m. for my other job. Oh no. As soon as I clocked out, I knew I would never walk up in there again. And it showed me through his own way that I didn't need that job, right? He knew how to get to me too. He knew that once I saw a decrease in flow over time and money, that I would quit the job because he knows me. He's my best friend. He's dad. He's girl dad. He's my dad. He knows me. He's taking my attention in the best and worst way possible. So, I started that job, but I still have some savings, but that soon decreased to have no savings again. But I was falling behind on bills. However, my main job, I work at a blood center at this time. My main job got sold to another company, and it's not the best overall. However, there's a silver lining. We switched retirement plans, and they gave us the option of either cashing out 401k from the previous job or rolling it over. I did not roll over. I'm like, I need money now. I need money. I need some extra money at this point in time to sustain me at least for a couple months. So I took the money out, and yes, I was already taxed on it. And I'm like, you know what? God told me if I waited, he'll provide for me. And I know he will, without me killing myself over it. Like, not literally, but like, not me killing myself with hard labor. So I did that. These are straight now. I'm not in not immediate danger. I don't want to say it like that. I'm not in any immediate crisis because of that happening. And I'm like, if I always waited on God's time, I could have avoided all that, to be honest. Me saying, why do I gotta work on these jobs? Why do I gotta struggle? But God's like, girl, did I tell you to work on jobs? Did I tell you a trouble like that? I'm like, no, God, you didn't. So now I back to 2 jobs. And the second job I have is PRN at the hospital. So I just work there, here and there. So that's how I'm like, God's timing really does make a difference. And then another topic I want to hit on is love. Now, if you're new, you may not know, I have never been in a relationship before, ever. In all my 26 years, I went my first date when I was 25 years old. So not even a full 2 years ago. And so all this time, I'm thinking, why not me? Why don't I get asked out? Why don't I get to go out on dates like my friends do? Why don't I get married? You know? So with that being said, I would say about a year ago, I met someone. Long story short, can't really drag this person too much, but I took things in my own hands. And God, even though God said he is not the person for you, and he showed me this person is not for me, and I acted a fool. Because I tried so hard to make this person my person, and it backfired in my face 10 times over. To the point where it's probably a test point too. This is the person I crash out on. And granted, they told me straight up they don't see me that way. And I should have left when they gave me started disrespecting me and giving me mixed signals. It is still my responsibility because I didn't listen to him or God, or anyone else. People told me he's a person for you, Desiree. He is not a man of God. He is not where you need him to be at his journey at. And I'm like, well, we can be friends. I wasn't waiting on God's timing. I got hurt. Like, I was so busy trying to make someone that just so happened to be close to me, near, like, location wise, someone that I wanted to be. And it turns out they just cannot be that person for me. No, they should not have to be honest. They should not have to change for no one, especially me. Try to tell this person, while I'm celebrating into marriage, they, long story short, crapped on me. Something. I tried to tell the person why I decided to wait to marriage and why I believe in that. And if I would have listened, I would have not been through times where this person has completely downed me for my decision or just how I act. And they might not realize that they did to me, but I did express how I felt about their opinion, because it is an opinion at the end of the day. But I had to go through that if I would have waited this timing. So now I've never been in a relationship. Now I have some, I won't say trauma, but I have kind of like I don't know what I was looking for. I have more of a guard. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, but I have a guard now, all because of that single person. And yeah, it's not all their fault, but I had to take some responsibility for that too. But I now have a guard, basically, all because I didn't want to wait. Okay, so with all that being said, you know what? Let's talk about one thing: location. For me, I was at my grandma's house last year after my mom died. I stayed there for a year, me and my dad. She said I had to move out, cool. I was planning to move out anyway, first of all. And I was trying to find an apartment. No apartment I was looking at wanted me. Okay? I don't understand, like, why. I was telling myself, I do not want to be in the ghetto. I do not want to be in the ghetto. So I was talking to one of my coworkers at work one day, and she was saying how she's lived in these apartments in the area, and she was telling me about them. I'm like, really? I can't find them on a website. She's like, no, that's where you gotta go in person and do an application, all that. I'm like, okay, cool. And I got in. Granted, the area may not be the best, and I do have some problems with it. However, I am still grateful for what I have still, because God didn't have to give me this. Okay? He knew how I was struggling. So he sent that person in my life, or at least for that day, and we talked about where we're moving to, because she decided to move back in here too. Luckily, my dad lives in the same apartment complex as me, so I can, like, go over and annoy him, like, in 20 seconds. However, besides that, I would say the biggest takeaway is I found out a couple months ago that my childhood best friend is literally like 2 buildings down from me. And we reconnected off Instagram. And keep in mind, we have tried to reconnect on and off the social media throughout the years ever since I moved away when I was like 7 or 8. I think it's like, no, more like 9 or 10. Anyway, so my childhood best friend is like 2 buildings down from me. And so we reconnected, we talked, and then that's when we found out how close we were to each other and how we started to hang out and reconnect and all that. And I'm like, wow, guys, you did your big one with that because granted, we still kind of found each other, but I was like 15 or 20 minutes away because I've always been that far from her. I was never far. We just never connected until now, really. But I'm like, look at that. Like, are you serious? Like, you let me reconnect with someone that I've been trying to for years because you placed me in this area. Yeah, thank you. Like, thank you. Okay? Like, thank you. Like, so, because I also asked God, why can't I have friends here? Why can't I have more friends? Because all my friends live far away from me. And so, at that time, he was saying, not yet, Desiree. Now I have a friend that's 2 buildings away from me. Like, I literally drive by her car almost every day. I'm like, oh, she's here. Okay. I could talk about when I talk to her. So now it's just me saying how God, for me, has told me, not yet. I may not get the career I want, or maybe not just yet. I'm playing jazz, so keep praying for me. And I've also been trying to move in different cities too to grow. However, I am still praying on that, and I fasted on that previously. And I'm just waiting for God's confirmation. He may not say no, you need to stay right here we are. Or he may tell me, no, not yet. Or he may say, green light, go girl. You go here. Hey, no, I'll help you out as I always do. And when it comes to love, that's the thing I struggle with the most, honestly, love and the finance part. I always want to experience love, romantic love. I never had it before, so I don't know what it's like. And people say I should be so lucky to not having to deal with these men out here and all that. And it's just like, but like, it would be nice to be asked out. It don't have to go nowhere. It would be nice to be asked out. Or not even just romantic, like someone that gives you their attention and intention, for a little bit, that is truly pursuing you. No, not just anyone, but like someone truly pursuing you. And that's why I have to realize I don't want just anyone. However, I do want someone who, whether or not it works out, I want someone who is intentional and can treat me right while we are around each other. I don't want just anyone that takes for granted, that downs me, and doesn't believe in me or doesn't respect in what I believe in. And that goes for anything, too. And then when it comes to finance part, that's my struggle. I'm tired of living this way. However, I know God's a plan for me. And I'm so grateful that I'm at where I'm at. Like, there's people that have it way worse than I do. I'm grateful. God didn't have to bless me with an apartment. He didn't have to bless me having the ability to work a job, let alone two. He didn't have to bless me keeping my car, having a car. He didn't have to bless me for making just enough money to survive. He could. That could be a $0 income. Okay. So I say all that to say we have to wait on his timing because his timing is always the right timing. But that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave comments down below what you want me to talk about next. And then I'm still working on like my little catchphrase. So like give me like some suggestions. But besides that, thanks for tuning in. I'm on Spotify, YouTube, and I'm trying to get on Apple Podcasts. So I don't know if I am or not already. And follow me on Instagram at Faith Over Pressure Pod. And on TikTok as well, Faith Over Pressure Pod. And with that being said, I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.